Nervous system. The nervous system is the main and most complex system in the human body. It is your boss, but also the leader of the company for your body. Imagine a huge and invincible empire. What would be more undesirable for that empire to lose its emperor or some official there? Well, the nervous system represents the emperor. However, this system does not only consist of the brain as many people think. The brain is the center of the nervous system, but it is not the only organ. In the nervous system, we also have the spinal cord, nerves, and small neuron cells. Also, as most of you probably already know, the nervous system is divided into central and peripheral. Central consists of the brain and spinal cord, while the peripheral consists of other nerves that are located everywhere in the body. The brain is the main organ for which there is so much information that we will make a special video about it, so be sure to subscribe to see it. In the center of the brain are all the main functions and all the main decisions for the body. Some we control like breathing, walking, talking, etc., while some we cannot control like heartbeat, digestion, etc. In the spinal cord is centered reflex arc, designed to react quickly in a situation that can save you. For example, if you touch a hot stove, your reflex makes you move your hand quickly before you even realize that the stove is hot. Finally, let's say that nerves are everywhere in our body, and they have the main role of sending signals through electrical impulses, so your brain is informed about whether you are hot, cold, hungry, tired, etc., using these nerves that are connected to the central nervous system. The endocrine system. The endocrine system is a very complex and very important system for our body. Scientists used to think that the nervous system was by far the most complex, but the endocrine system challenges that. As I assume you know, the endocrine system is a system that contains glands that secrete hormones. What's so complex about it? Well, you see, every hormone directs what happens in the body, so the hormone, of course, under the guidance of the nervous system, tells the body how much it will grow, what its body temperature will be, how much it will sleep and when, whether it will eat, whether it will leave a like on a video. All of that is done by hormones. And where do hormones come from, and where are they located? Well, hormones are found in our bloodstream, and they are secreted by the endocrine glands. The main gland in our body responsible for this entire system is the pituitary gland. It is literally the brain for the endocrine system. It is a very small gland with a diameter of 1 centimeter, which secretes very important hormones, such as growth hormone, which is mainly responsible for the growth of the body, but also some like LH-TSH. Why am I mentioning these hormones? So those hormones that are not growth hormone serve to tell the pituitary gland to tell other glands when and how much to secrete other hormones. For example, those two hormones LH and TSH tell the male genitals how much testosterone to secrete, because they do not decide for themselves whether to secrete a lot of testosterone or a little. The hypothalamus and pineal gland are also located in the brain. It is only important to know that the pineal gland secretes melatonin, the sleep hormone, when you sleep, for the pituitary gland, so that it works better. The next gland on the list is the thyroid gland, which mainly serves to regulate immunity and various other processes. The main hormone it secretes is thyroxine. The mammary gland is one of the least functional organs in the body. It only has a role while we are children. It serves to mature blood cells until about the age of 20. The pancreas is a gland that regulates blood sugar levels by raising and or lowering it. The hormones it secretes are, for example, insulin and glucagon. Finally, we have the sex glands. These are the testicles in men, and the ovaries in women. They secrete testosterone and estrogen depending on which sex you are, and they have the role of maturing as a man or a woman. Also, let's not forget the adrenal glands, which secrete the stress hormone, cortisol, and adrenaline, which protects you in dangerous situations. The digestive system. The digestive system is probably much more familiar to you than the endocrine or nervous system. It mainly has the role of digesting food, of sending the nutrients you ingest where they need to be. What does the digestion process look like? So it starts in your mouth, where you use your teeth and tongue to chew food until you can swallow it. Then it goes down a long tube called the esophagus and reaches the stomach. There is stomach acid there, which is so strong that it dissolves food and breaks it down very well. Then the food goes into the small intestine, or the duodenum. This is what connects the small intestine to the stomach, but it is also connected to the liver and pancreas, which have the role of secreting enzymes that will further break down food into even more digestible substances. Finally, the small intestine secretes red juice, which has the role of completely digesting food and turning it into energy, which then travels through the bloodstream and goes where it needs to go. Excess digested food will turn into fat and be stored as fat on your body, and what cannot be digested will go to the large intestine. The large intestine is about 1 meter long, much shorter than the small intestine, which is about 6.7 meters long. The colon is full of good bacteria, such as probiotics, and these bacteria, together with the colon, form feces from undigested food and expel it out of the body whenever you go to the toilet. This is how the body's digestive process. Respiratory system. The respiratory system is a system that works and that you are unconsciously controlling right now, and it is used for breathing. But let's be a little more specific. Why do we breathe at all? Well, you see, our body needs oxygen for the muscles to work and for food to be converted into energy. The air around us, as you know, is not pure oxygen, but only about 21%. Nitrogen is about 78%, and there are also other gases in the air that are not oxygen. So when we breathe in air, it travels through the nose or mouth and goes straight through the throat, trachea, and bronchi, and reaches the lungs. The lungs are the main respiratory organ that consists of small cells called alveoli. These cells absorb air like a sponge and extract oxygen from it and then send it into the bloodstream. We'll talk about that a little later, whisper. But also the oxygen that has already been used is converted into carbon dioxide and is released through your exhalation through the body. Of course, when you are more physically active, your body needs a lot more oxygen. That's why you are more breathless. But if you constantly exercise and are constantly physically active, the body requires less and less oxygen for that, and that's how you create fitness. Cardiovascular system. The cardiovascular system is a system that is very complex, but very important for our body. Namely, it includes the heart and blood vessels. The heart, as you know, beats continuously all day long without stopping, even when you sleep. But why does it do that? So you see, when the heart is a house, it is connected to veins and arteries. Arteries carry oxygen through the bloodstream to every part of the body that needs it, and also nutrients. That's why the arteries are brighter and red. The cells that are responsible for transporting oxygen in the arteries are erythrocytes, or red blood cells. Once the heart beats, the erythrocytes start traveling at high speed through the bloodstream and delivering oxygen to where it is needed. When it is empty, in places like these, it enters the veins, which are darker, or as they are marked in the picture, they are blue. This means that the cell is full of carbon dioxide and that it no longer has any role, so it returns to the alveoli, expels carbon dioxide, and then takes in oxygen, while the heart sends it back through the bloodstream. This process is repeated as long as you are alive. We also have two other important cells in the bloodstream that are worth mentioning. The first are leukocytes, or white blood cells. Their role is to make antibodies and create immunity that will protect us from various immune diseases. The third type of cell in our body is platelets, or blood platelets. Their role is to clot the blood where it is needed. And when it is needed, for example when you visit somewhere, or when you fall and your knee starts bleeding, as if you have not lost a lot of blood from the body, the platelet clots the blood where it is needed and simply heals the wound. Lymphatic system. The lymphatic system is very similar in structure and function to the cardiovascular system. Its role is that just as the cardiovascular system delivers nutrients using blood, the lymphatic system delivers nutrients using a fluid called lymph. The difference is that lymph does not have as many erythrocytes, but has more leukocytes and platelets, and its system delivers nutrients to the smallest places where blood cannot reach. Just as the heart is the main organ for blood circulation, the spleen is the main organ for lymph circulation. It is rich in lymph and is connected to the lymphatic system. This organ is located on the front side of your body. Have you ever noticed that when you start running and feel a sudden pain in your left hip, but that feeling only lasts while you're running or walking, possibly while you're breathing? That pain means that your body needs a lot of blood, and since the heart can't deliver enough blood at once, the spleen suddenly empties its stores temporarily, and it does this by spasming. The very movement of spasming your spleen hurts, so you have in mind why the spleen is such an important organ.